how are you going, YouTube? It is freaking fantastic at the moment, I'll tell you truthfully. I've been going pretty well lately. I've been doing reasonably well. I've had a couple of stressful issues here and there, and, you know, a couple of things that were my own fault, I realise this. You know, the shit does happen, and, you know, it's going to happen. It's ultimately part of life, and how life works. So, what things have I been up to? Well, mostly been dog sitting for the last week or so, just, you know, basically looking after my sister's dog, and pretty much diving back into the, you know, just, well, you know, yeah, looking after him, and having a lot of other YouTube videos, tech channels, just in general as a curiosity, and of course a lot of the other tech channels I support as well. So, what was I going to say? I've separated my situation at the moment with my current 4K monitor. I've separated it by taking away my other 27-inch TV that I used to have here. I've now got a bit of a neater desk, which is much better for productivity in the sense of things, just being able to do stuff and feeling like I'm not just cramped and clogged up and everything else like that. So I'm feeling a little more free with things, and, you know, just feeling like I'm not getting pushed into a corner because of this shit, basically. Okay, so, look, the monitor I've got is pretty cool, as you know. I love the fact that it's got this lovely picture-in-picture feature, which I've been definitely been using, which I've now got my Xbox hooked into this screen, my Xbox 360, as you can see. It's in the corner there. I will also mention I got a new TP-Link router. I don't know whether I've got the box. I don't get rid of the box, so I keep the box. That's a good question. I don't know whether I kept the box. That's a... maybe I did. Did I keep the box? No, I don't know. Oh, that's such a good question, because I have no idea if I kept the box or not. I probably did. Anyway, I got a new TP-Link router. It's got ANC on it. ANC features. I'm getting a free AC adapter in the mail. I also ordered an extra one, and I got that yesterday, day before, and that's being used in another part of the house at the moment. Just generally for the range. Anyway, I got this, I hooked the hard drive up to it and everything else. The router's been going pretty well so far. I haven't had any major issues. I mean, my internet's freaking slow to start with. So, even if I do notice a little degradation at first, sometimes that can just be a firmware or a router firmware issue in some cases. But I mean, I haven't had a notice of totally, because I've just noticed when there's a lot of the internet being used. But saying that, I've only noticed that when I'm doing a hell of a lot of downloads on top of that. And generally speaking, the router, it does a pretty good job. It downloads at the maximum speed that my connection will allow. I would love more out of my connection, but unfortunately, my connection is just it's a piece of ass. It's terrible. My connection is shocking. It's special, and it annoys the crap out of me. And I've hooked a hard drive up there for storage, network storage, as well. I've been having an issue getting the network storage to work. I think it's an issue that I'm having that I may need to reinstall Windows 8. I don't know at this point, or it's just an issue that I need to configure a couple of things on the router itself. But generally the router is wireless, and generally the router itself has been working fine. I've been getting reasonably good Skype calls. Things have been lasting as reasonably as much as they could. Downloads have been pretty reasonable, considering that there's two other people in the house, and they use the internet as well. Especially my nephew. Everything's been pretty good. I mean, there's two people. I actually have to get the extra. It's the Archer 7, I believe. Archer D7 AC. So it does 1,300. 1,300. If I remember, yeah, 1,300 something. 1,300 for the 5 GHz network, and then 450 something for the. I'm not exactly sure how many. I have to actually check that for a second. So I don't know whether you can actually. We'll just have a look and just see. So this is the actual router. ADSL, VDSL, ADSL. It's this one right here, which is the Archer D7. It is a dual band router, so it does 5 GHz and 2.4. The 5 gigahertz, 2.4 gigahertz is 450 megabytes per second, and the 5 gigahertz is 1,300 megabytes per second, or megabits per second, however you want to put it. It's got ANC wireless. It uses N. It will use N as well. It can use N, and again, it's backwards compatible. It's using the new ANC, which is the new standard now. I've basically been testing that out, just sort of getting the max out of it, sort of thing. I mean, so far I haven't had any big issues. As I say, the reason I like TP-Link so far is they're regular on their firmware updates, and the last router that I had from them, I never really had any big issues with it. It was reasonably fast most of the time. I mean, actually, it was reasonably fast most of the time, but I mean, the only other issue. Well, the only issue I ever had was my antenna was crap to start with, so I couldn't remember. It's not really something that can be helped. 2 external antennas, 4 gigabyte wireless. It's got USB connectivity. Obviously, you can connect a printer. You can connect to hard drive, as I've done here, which I've got the hard drive hooked up at the moment. Easy setup, IP6 version 6 support. Specifications. Basically supports everything. It's got USB 2.0 ports on it. I mean, you know, hopefully when I get the NBN, which I don't know, will be at some point in the future, I'm guessing. I'm hoping that I've got a better router, like not modem, but router, sitting up there at the moment, and it's a Western Digital, which it's a pretty good router. It's got gigabit in connection. It's got everything sort of all tied into one, and it's not a bad router. The thing that's probably most getting me and annoying me at the moment is I truly do want to get the NBN. I'm just waiting for it to come down in its general direction, and that's taking fucking ever, it seems. So, you know, basically it's just waiting out the NBN pretty much. At the moment I'm pretty much stuck between a rock and a hard place of getting like 4 megabits per second or even less. No, it's about 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 megabits on a good day. Which, you know, megabits, you know, point anyway. My point is, it's not the fastest speed in the world. I mean, it's the average connection speed is like 4 or 5 megabits for most household connections, especially ADSL, ADSL2. And you know, most of it's just, it's the worst possible thing, because I mean, you don't have the ability to upload extensively. You know, you don't have the whole thing sort of tied into it, and yeah, it's rather frustrating when you're trying to upload videos, because it frustrates the shit out of you trying to do them regardless. Now, what I've done, as I said, that's my new router. As you can see, it's pretty cool. I've got a new, which is the Archer T4U, on a dual band adapter for it, which has been working nice. It seems to be nice steady speed, keeps good connections. Was pretty easy to install. It's a USB 3.0 adapter, which I'm going to say that the threshold of it in the throughput is not even much higher than something that's a USB 2.0. Because I mean, at one point I was originally on N. And I was on N for a while. I mean, when it first started out, and now pretty much I'll switch over to ANC, so to upgrade the network basically. So anyway, done that. So we got that. What else? What's the AC1750 wireless dual band gigabit ADSL2 modem router, which that's the actual name of it. It's made by TP-Link, if anybody's interested in the product itself. And as I said, I mean, at the moment I've sort of got it shimmied here. The only thing I will say, and the only thing that I was a little bit annoyed with when I did buy the product, and initially I thought it was like the original. I believe I'll actually show you the original one that I had. The original model that I had wall mounting ability, which was rather handy. But the only problem that I found is this new TP-Link one did not have wall mounting ability, which was rather frustrating when the fact that I wanted to mount it to the wall in the first place, and I didn't realise I didn't have that until I'd actually walked through and done it. Well, I did some research initially, but in a review, in a review, people don't always talk about it being wall mountable. Now that's part of the issue. Now on the back of this one, this is the TP-Link, which is that is an upgrade from this one. This is only 2.4 gigahertz wireless. This was the TDW8970, which was mounted to the wall for a fair while. Basically, it was mounted to the wall and was hanging off the wall. And you know, it was doing a good job. I mean, I'm going to admit it was doing a good job for a long while, but as I said, I wanted the dual band capability, basically, to be able to do things like, you know, just generally having, you know, for HD streaming, things like that, you know, being able to get all that sort of stuff going. Now, sense of feet, I mean, it's pretty much the same feature set as that. It's obviously, this is bigger, that's smaller, which I was all for the fact that it was smaller. But as I said, the only thing that annoyed me, and the only thing that really got me, was the fact that it didn't have wall mounting. That's the only thing that probably was a little bit of the thing that pissed me off. But among that, no, everything else in the router itself seems to be functioning exactly the way I expected it to, or exactly the way most reviews put it into perspective. It functions well. I haven't had any major hiccups. It doesn't disconnect it on me, put it that way. I haven't had any major issues of it actually dropping sync. I admit that I had a few issues with this dropping sync initially when it was first released. I have had a little bit of internet speed issues, but I think that's more related to my internet just being crap in general, and I have had speed issues even with this modem over a period of time anyway. But yeah, this has dropped sync a couple of times, this modem itself, I know. That on the other hand, so far hasn't dropped sync on anything I've been doing. Hasn't really dropped sync. It's dropped a couple of connections, like, you know, just randomly, like if I'm on Skype, or not Skype, but like I've got a chat service or something connected, it might randomly drop the connection on that. But it won't actually, it doesn't fully drop the connection and just completely drop out the ADSL and there's nothing there. I have had actually this unit, on the other hand, completely drop line sync and just go and literally shit itself. Which I don't know whether that's just related to, as I said, it could be just related to bandwidth issues with my connection. Which, you know, I'm not going to criticise the modem because of it. And that's the reason I got another TP-Link. I did have an ASUS for a while, which, I don't know, I was finding it was dropping connection as well. This, on the other hand, I have not had, this is so far, I've not had it drop a connection on me yet. I've rebooted it maybe a couple of times just because of, you know, resyncing speed and things like that, and just, you know, it's always good to refresh the logs on the modem regardless. But no, I actually haven't had it drop, like, you know, physically drop off the internet completely, just completely die off the internet. Saying that my ISP's, I don't know, they might be giving upgrades at the moment, so, you know, something along those lines anyway. But okay, as I said, that's not a bad product, commercial speak, but I mean, it wasn't designed for high bandwidth stuff, so possibly could have been in relation to the reason it would drop under heavy strain in certain situations. Now that this more just, you know, the internet becomes a little boggy at times. But I mean, generally my internet is not the most perfect internet on the planet, so as I said, I'm not going to criticise it. But yeah, anyway, that's that. Now, as I said, it's good so far, and have not had any major issues with it. And, you know, yeah, well, that's pretty much my little mini review of the TP-Link, what was it, AC1750. So if you're interested in that modem, head on over to TP-Link's website, or you can even head over to eBay. There's a couple of other websites that I would recommend. There's a couple of the eBay recommended site sellers and stuff that you would go with, definitely a lot there. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Not leave it there, but I'm going to, well, anyway, you know, yeah. Okay, sorry YouTube, I had to restart the camera because I hate the damn fact that this camera only records exactly 14 minutes of video each time. Which I know it's a limitation of the camera itself. It just bothers me that I couldn't actually set a higher time limit. Yeah, but I mean, this camera is more designed for pictures, to be honest. It's more designed to take pictures than it is to record video. But saying that, it does a good job with the video regardless. I'm not but complaining of the quality of the video. I've never complained about the quality of the video this particular camera because it's got a good lens on it. Yeah, it hasn't got a crappy lens, put it that way. And I mean, it's not. Just gonna rub that lens a little bit. But yeah, it's not a crappy lens. It's a good lens, and I mean, it's not just that, but it extends. You know, I mean, I like the reason I like this camera. It's got manual zoom. It's got everything that SLR does have, but it's not at the ridiculous price that an SLR originally was at. Which, you know, that's cool. But anyway, now what I was talking about is the Xbox. Now, what I've actually done is, as you know, I've got my picture-in-picture stuff, which I love this. I fucking love this feature on my monitor. I really do. I'm so, as I said, I fell in love with this sensor monitor in the sense of how it does things. As you can see, I've got the fact that I can do this, have this in the corner of the screen. Aside from having this in the corner of the screen, I can also have my recording software off the side, do my recordings and everything else, and, you know, chat to people on Xbox and things and such. The only thing I really really would like to set up a little more is being able to record voice chat on Xbox when I have played with people in the past, because voice chat was always a little choppy. In some ways not hard, not easy to record, and sometimes I found that a little frustrating because you know, it's just more a case of it's more a case of just being able to record it on the fly, you know, just not just have it automatically recorded, you know, not have this big fucking issue every time I want to record the audio, or the chat audio especially. I mean, saying that, I haven't played with a few of my friends for a while, just mainly because I don't know, I do get busy with my own computer repair business as well, you know, that takes up my time as well, and sometimes it's just, I don't always get time to play. And then sometimes I do, you know, and then sometimes I'm not really in the mood to play either. And of course then I have times where I spend time with my girlfriend too, but I mean, I've got to spend some time with her as well. And I can't exactly ignore her. Now, I don't know, it's a vast combination for me, really. I don't know, I'm a big tech head anyway, but... so, anyway, this is pretty much GTA 5 that I'm playing at the moment. Now, I mean, the thing though, I mean, in the future I may get, you know, I may end up getting, for example, if I don't know if Xbox One will support 4K at some point, but if it does, I'll probably end up getting, so I can hook 4K monitoring into it, you know, this 4K monitor into it, I guess, but I don't know, so far I'm doing pretty well. I don't know, everyone else, I mean, the likely thing that I will do is I'll probably get an Xbox One, because then I can hook through and have my Xbox 360 hooked into it, at the same time have my Xbox One there, and have my Xbox One sort of sitting in the right area. Yeah, well, basically I can, yeah. I'd rather, well, because the Xbox One has a pass-through, that's the reason I'd go for it more. And on top of that, I've got a subscription for Xbox Live, so, you know, I can use that to both my Xbox One and my Xbox 360, and there's going to be no hassle about that. Whereas if I was going to PS4, I'd have to start the entire network thing over again, because you're going to pay for that, and yeah, it's a bit more work involved, and I'd rather go with the things that I've already invested in initially. So as you can see, it's working well, and I love this feature. I do, I really do. I mean, even on full screen, this looks freaking fantastic regardless. Let me just change the source. switch over. You know, I mean, even off the screen, it still looks fantastic. I mean, okay, you know, yes, it's only 1080p textures, and I'm not gonna. I mean, you know, it is the Xbox 360. It's obviously going to look dated on a 4K on a display that's meant to be 4K. But fuck, it still looks good because of the sense of colours. I mean, just the vividness of it in general. And it's not a bad display for gaming on it. I mean, to be honest, it's got 1 second response time. I'm going to fucking go with that more than I would with my 5 millisecond HD TV that I have. Which is nothing wrong with HD TV, but I don't know, it doesn't have very much response time as a monitor will, especially something that's 1 millisecond and really kicks through on that, not like 1 millisecond time factor. So yeah.
Why does everybody rave about food trucks, man? Now see, I don't need to stand out there for food, but thanks, but no thanks.
As I said, I have noticed a difference though with that response time. I have noticed that it picks up a lot faster in the sense of my gameplay experience. Being able to shoot pops faster, just reacting faster, reaction time between me hitting something and not hitting something or seeing on screen is much more responsive with that extra time. So this is more of a screen design for game, just in the sense of what's keeping its frame rate as well, which is a 60 Hz frame rate, which it is at 1080p now, and it does do the 60 Hz frame rate at 1080p. So yeah, oh, I love that. So that's just fucking fantastic. Oh, when I died. Yeah, you saw that. Okay, so I blown myself up. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much like that screen. This screen itself, I'm pretty happy with the results of it. And I was finding having an extra 1080p screen hooked aside would cause interference problem where the display port wouldn't automatically be detected when the computer's booting up. So I mean, just generally having the screen on there, I mean, it's it's 28 inches. It is a bigger screen than my 27, so like 70 centimeters or something. Which my 27-inch was a lot. Yeah, it didn't have as thin a belt as this. Like, so, just in the sense of it was a bit thicker. They're both Samsung. Both good brands. I'm not arguing that. My dad's now using it mainly because it's better for his eyes to be able to see on screen. Things are a lot bigger for him. Me, on the other hand, my eyes are still good, so 4K is fine for me. At the same time, like as I said, my dad is a good guy, but jeez, I don't know where I was going with that. Well, yeah, he is a good guy. That's not the point. But I mean, generally, I thought look, as I said, I needed some more space. I needed a less cramped workspace area, and I just needed to have that extra space so I didn't have crap everywhere, and I didn't feel like I was crammed into a corner, basically, in these situations. So, pretty much just not feel like I was getting squashed into a corner, pretty much, and, just not feel inundated with that. So, yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much that. As I said, that's what I've done with that. Things that I've sort of been mucking around with and stuff that I've sort of come around with. I've actually, I've got a few of these for sale on eBay at the moment. I'll actually show them to you. Get out! Guys. Good guys. I've got a couple of these for sale on eBay, and they are a solid little drive. I got about 6 of them for sale at the moment. They are a solid little drive. These things are like freaking medical, like freaking keys. They may as well be keys. They're USB drives. They're 16 gigabytes each. I think I'm selling for like $10 each or something. Yeah, $10 each. I'm pretty sure. Well, these are the ones. These are nice. These are nice. I picked up a little boggler. I picked up 10 of them or something, and I ended up keeping 2 for myself, and I think I put 6 on eBay, and still might have a couple out there somewhere. I put a few on eBay to test, basically, to see if I'd sell. I haven't sold any yet, but I mean, to be honest, they're cool. They're cool little thumb drives. They're Kingston. They're not too bad in my mind. And I mean, well, no, they are. They're fucking fantastic, to be honest, because I mean, they're solid. These are solid things. I mean, it's me. You can probably fucking run over them. I mean, they don't feel like they're made out of crap. I picked them up for about it was $50 or something for the like 10 of them or something, like $50. I ended up actually picking them up cheap because I mean normally they're like $14 each or something. I also picked up these other ones, which these are SanDisk ones, 8 gigabytes each. Here's a switch, which they're 8 gigabyte each drives. They got little things on it, and you hang them off your fucking things as well. I got 10 of those anyway to sell, so I'm going to sell those as well. What else? I don't know. At the moment, I'm just trying to chill, trying to get things together. What else? As I said, I've basically reset my network a little bit, fixed up everything else. Yeah, I've been bored the last week just trying to find not my brain, but just trying to find myself in the sense of things, and just things that I want, things I don't want, and just, you know, just mucking around with stuff. Yeah, so I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty happy about things so far. I mean, we're all entitled to make a few mistakes, and I probably make a few myself. I'm not denying that. But at the same time, I'm trying to better myself. So it's a plus side. And that's going to vibrate. Lovely. So yeah. Anyway, what else? I think that's about it, really. I mean, just basically, I've reorganised my work environment to be a little less cluttered. I've made things a little more streamlined. I worked out what was going on with my nephew's PC, and basically, you know, got his computer up and running, which was a lot of family computers that I had to fix the last few weeks. Pretty much my family, you know what I mean, they come on the top line of my important list, really, in the sense of fixing stuff for them. So, yeah. Fix that, and I still got a couple more things to fix for my family. But at the same time, I'm still running my business as well. But I've been a little bit inundated because I had to do doggy sitting, which there was a lot of case of just looking after the dog and, you know, giving the attention to the dog, and pretty much, you know, had a little holiday too on that. And I just, that week I spent pretty much looking after the dog, just, you know, chilling, lazing around, watching a few vids, yeah, stuff like that. And it was just, it was pretty much a, you know, I'm not really doing much sort of week, you know. I'll do a couple of things, but yeah, I wasn't doing anything major. So yeah, I mean, that was pretty much then. This week I'm just starting out, getting fresh, getting back into the workflow again, a little more, gonna try and get my business stuff, well, get a little more, get it flowing again. As I said, you know, it slows down, then fastens up depending on the situation. So yeah. Anyway, I think I'll pretty much leave it there. Thank you very much, YouTube, for your time. It's pretty much a little video and stuff, you know, just to say that I've pretty much reorganised my work environment just to feel better about things in general. So. But I will have to talk about technology a little more. I have to do some more game stuff. I need to do some more game stuff on 4K, but I haven't actually done any more major recordings on 4K, so I will have to do some at some point. Okay, anyway, thank you very much. Catch you, YouTube. Bye.